Now, for those of you who did question 3, volcanic eruptions can lead to a drop in global temperatures. Right, we reference to studies you made explain how this is so. 5 marks once again. So what are we looking for? We're looking for the idea of what happens during a volcanic eruption to appear in your answer. A drop in global temperature to be linked as a result of what is happening in the volcanic eruption. And finally, 1 mark will be given to reference to a study you've made. So I not only want a volcano name, I want an incident where there was an eruption and there was a resultant drop in surface temperatures. So I'm going to start with that first. Mount Pinatubo, 1980s, where there was an eruption and global temperatures dropped by about 1 degree for a year. So that is important. That is your reference to studies you've made. Some point in your answer, you must have that. Next, volcanic eruptions. What are we going to look at? You have to mention that during a volcanic eruption, what is released. Okay, bear in mind, you're looking at drop in global temperatures, so do not harp on the fact that there are many greenhouse gases that are released in the process. If you focus excessively on greenhouse gases, you should be looking at climate change in terms of global warming, not global drop in temperatures. So you have to be very careful about the slant when you're dealing with global dimming or drop in global temperatures because of volcanic eruptions. Bear in mind, do not overemphasize greenhouse gases. Okay, so what then should we emphasize on? You should emphasize on the fact that there is a lot of ash and sulfur particles that are emitted during the eruption. They rise up. What happens to them? They don't dissipate straight away. They get trapped in the atmosphere. So when they're trapped in the atmosphere, they form a protective layer. It's like a shield that shields away long wave radiation from the sun. Okay, so when long radiation is largely deflected away, you will not have the opportunity for it to heat up the surface and become irradiated heat, also known as long wave radiation. I'm sorry, I think I just said the wrong thing. Okay, so once again, short wave radiation from the sun is reflected away. It doesn't have a chance to become long wave radiation, which will heat up the Earth's surface. So by having this layer of ash and sulfur particles in the atmosphere, you actually deflect solar radiation away and therefore cool surface temperatures. Bring in your example that we talked about earlier, Mount Pinatubo. If you have another example, make sure that you Google it and you can verify your example is correct using Google. So that's it for question 3, 5 marks.